The following presentation is brought to you through the paid memberships of notarystars.com, the only notary training platform and resource library with over 150 hours of training on every loan product under the sun. Together with our sister website, onlinenotariespublic.com, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary, we strive to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without overfabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support us, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member and trusting us to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
That's my cue. Woohoo! Hello and welcome, friends. We're just so thrilled to see you this evening for Monday General Mentorship. Now, you know, in this industry, we've got an acronym for everything. So our acronym is MGM. So welcome. Guys, we do this every Monday except for holidays, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So mark your calendars. My name is Beth Hathoot, and I'm the lead instructor for Notary Stars. The rest of the MGM crew is here as well. Our founder and marketing expert, Mr. Ronnie Mickle, our remote online notary instructor, Mr. Bill Bumfrey, and our notary liaison, Miss Kirsten Bly, and our latest Spanish-speaking instructor, Mr. Manuel Puga. I think he's here. We're all here to help you excel in your notary business journey. Just in case you're wondering, we are not a certification course. Certificates are often just magic wings that give you the confidence to get out there. Sometimes what you study to obtain them doesn't really prepare you for the job, and some of them even expire. So Notary Stars, on the other hand, is not only a great place to get started learning, but a continuing education platform where you can keep on top of what's really happening and get notary business support for all your notary needs, like loan signing documents, remote online notarization, other streams of related service, and most importantly, business marketing. So if you could, please turn on your cameras, get your hands raised early in the session to pose a question or contribute something, because we're only going to be here for just about an hour. And let's make tonight epic. Mr. Ronnie, I am done with that short little introduction. Would you like to kick us off? And your face looks really green. You look like an alien tonight.
Yeah, I got this new camera and I think it's like reset. So if I look a little yellow, I'll try to fix it when we have time. I know other people have said it as well. I have no idea what's going on. I turned my lights white, so I don't know why I'm coming out so yellow. But we have to go on with the show.
We love your new look.
Yeah. I'll be a Simpson for the night. I'm auditioning for The Simpsons.
There you go.
First of all, I'm excited that we have a special guest in the house tonight. I think it's always wonderful when we have guests in the house, and I want to forego any special announcements. Now, I will ask you if you could please check the chat for the special announcements as we get started tonight. I do have two things to say just to kind of kick us off, and I want to get through an introduction with our guests. You guys are going to want to know these guests. So with that said, last week we talked about the syncing of the NNA profiles. Pretty much everyone out there is using a what we call an API to check your credentials at the NNA to make sure that you're an NNA certified notary. We put that out there. Kirsten's going to drop it in the chat so you can watch that video again if you weren't here last week. We did have a lot of people tune in last week, about 300 notaries. So we got the message out there. The other thing is you want to share it with people. Now, along the same vein of that, I want to point out to you guys that you really probably want to start adding the Learn More About Me at Notary Stars button into your profiles. We send it out with the newsletter every week. Kirsten's also going to drop it into the chat. I'm going to reveal to you now the new profiles. Nancy Fauché is the first person to have one of these profiles. Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. Beth, can you see Nancy's profile there?
Do.
All right. So with that, learn more about me that goes in your signing order, ZigSig, SnapDocs, all of those profiles. What you can see now, and you'll see Nancy has a really low rating. There's only one thing that has to be done here to bring that up, is she needs to add in her Google My Business listing and her Yelp listing to combine those. This won't actually, it'll just show your Notary Stars reviews if you don't plug them in after we go live. But what we've done is bring right to the forefront everything that a signing service would be looking at if they were trying to hire you for a session. And one of the great things about this is you can actually input a video here. Let me just share the sound. So this is something that you can put into your video so that if people were looking and they were like, I don't know, you can put in your video. And so like Nancy.
Hi there, my name is Nancy Fauché, and I'm a mobile notary serving Marion, Lake, Sumter, and Citrus counties in Central Florida. Now, I've not only trained with the National Notary Association to better serve the public, I've also trained with Notary to Pro, Notary Stars, and Loan Signing System. I became a mobile notary because I wanted to serve my community with a pleasing notarial experience, and I have all the equipment necessary to print or scan on the go. Now, I would love to help you with your notarization needs, whether it be a car title transfer, a power of attorney signing, or more complex signing like a real estate closing. Now, you won't regret making me your go-to notary or loan signing agent, as I really do care about my craft. Call or text today to schedule your appointment. I'll be happy to have heard from you.
Now,
hi there, my name is Nancy Fauché.
You guys will be able to go in and add your own video to your listing. Other things that this new listing includes is more call to actions for people to actually call you or connect with you in different ways. It'll showcase all of your training from Notary to Pro to Loan Signing System to the NNA, and it also connects to your NNA profile, which is how we are also discovering these little breaks on signing order and things that are using APIs. So just want to make sure that you get your Learn More About Me Notary Stars button into your profiles. The signing services that we work with we are no longer sending them out individually. They are looking for that button. Okay. So it's up to you to make sure that you use your profile to the maximum ability. And then the last thing that I just wanted to point out to you guys before we go on to our special guest for tonight is for those of you that have added in document translations into your wheelhouse of services, the Idiomatic is the company that we've partnered with at Notary Stars, and all the Notary Stars can partner with. I added in document translation services into my Google My Business and my Yelp, and I've already served 4 customers and earned commissions off of those, and that was just in a few days. So if you have signed up for that affiliate link, make sure to update your Google My Business and go in and say, yes, I also do document translations, add it into your Yelp as well. I'm enjoying the money that I'm making from just being an affiliate with Idiomatic. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware, and Kirsten should be dropping that into the chat as well. Now I'm going to turn this back over to Miss Beth to properly introduce Notary Academy, a new and trusted and like-minded ally for Notary Stars. I'm terrible at reading scripts, which I'm doing right now, you can probably tell. So I'm going to ask Miss Beth to introduce our guest, and here's why I'm so excited about this. For the longest time, people out there think, oh, Ronnie owns a signing service, he owns Notary Stars. I am not the only signing service that requires training. A lot of them actually just don't come on and interact with you because then you call them all the time wanting business, and they may not have business for you, but they do look for trained notaries. What I love about my Notary Academy is it's a whole collective of people who are owning signing services and really believe in training just like Notary Stars. And personally, after an interview with them and taking a look at their training, we've now added it as an accepted training for Unlimited Ink, my signing service. So we are now accepting my Notary Academy as a viable training source. And you guys know we're pretty picky about it. So with that said, we're going to introduce you to to Notary Academy tonight. Ms. Beth, why don't you give them a proper introduction?
Well, we have the 2 co-founders with us tonight. I'm going to first tell you a little bit about what Kimberly Simmett says about herself and her company. So Kimberly is an expert and a leader in everything notary. She's the co-owner and co-founder of Notary Academy. She co-founded the business in 2020 after she saw a growing need for training for California notaries. Kim is a mentor for the California Notary Society group. She also advocates for notaries and has a passion in teaching state-specific quality education. She truly has goals to change the notary world, so watch out, guys. To have stringent oversight and for notaries across the nation to be viewed as as a very professional profession, which is kind of an interesting statement. We are supposed to be professional, but unfortunately, too often we're not seen that way. Additionally, through her private signing business and her national signing service, Seal the Deal LLC, she's completed over 10,000 loan signings, either herself specifically or through her company. Kim has a passion for helping others, and through Notary Academy, she loves to pay it forward and sees signing agents and notaries achieve excellence in everything they do. That really specifically aligns with our ideals. So it excites me to think that we can have a partnership here. Laura, and I'm going to say this last name wrong, Laura. I'm sorry. Laura Tassadri has been a leader in the industry for over 20 years. Laura, the other co-partner or co-founder, got her start as a mortgage loan processor and a loan originator in 2001, and subsequently emerged as one of Northern California's most detailed and sought after signing agent. Laura owns and operates a highly successful nationwide signing service, Notary Zoom signings, and co-owns the groundbreaking Notary Academy. Additionally, Laura has been a member of the National Notary Association and has held a California Notary Commission since 2008. Please, everybody, put your hands together. Let's welcome Laura and Kim, or Kimberly, to Notary Stars this evening. Uh-oh, I think we lost Mr. Ronnie.
No, I'm here. I'm just working in the background trying to get them pinned.
Thank you, Beth. We appreciate that fabulous intro.
Thank you very much for having us. We're super, super excited about teaming up with Notary Stars. We all have the same vision to align ourselves with as much training as possible, but we want to make sure that it is quality education. That is the most important thing, is there's so many training programs out there, and we encourage you to take as much training as you possibly can.
Amen.
Yes, but we also encourage you to make sure that the training that you take is quality education. At Notary Academy, we are a California Secretary of State approved vendor. We teach the 3-hour and the 6-hour class to become a notary or to renew your notary commission, as well as we offer mentorship services to students. So we offer monthly ongoing training. We provide a new training every single month. We in California have over 75 training videos and more. We are nationwide. We are currently in 14 states and growing. Our goal is to be in every state, but for each of our states, we have an advisor, and the advisor for our state is an expert in their state for notarial law and foundation. So if you join Notary Academy in one of the states that we're currently open in, one of the best things about Notary Academy is you get lifeline services. So with lifeline services, you're able to call or text us in real time. You can call or text your advisor while you're at the signing table. So if you have a question about a document, or you have a question about identifying somebody properly, this gives you the opportunity to call somebody in real time. There's other hotlines that are like that, but unfortunately, they don't always have specific information for your state, and they're not always open 24/7 the way that we are. I promise you, if you call or text me at midnight, I'm going to answer you. So that being said, that's one of our greatest services that we offer, but we also offer all kinds of curriculum, everything notary, all the way from wedding officiant to loan signing. No matter what it is, we offer it. And just like Notary Stars, because Notary Stars does the same thing, we have all kind of looked at each other's education, and it is quality education. And so we want you guys to understand that taking a certification or taking education from one place is a great thing. But when you take it from multiple places, it makes you a better rounded, polished notary. It makes you more educated, and it gives you a wealth of knowledge that the average notary that only took one certification or one training program, they don't have the same knowledge that you might have. So what sticks with one might stick with another. So what Ronnie tells you or Beth tells you might be the same exact thing that both Laura and myself tell you, but for some reason it stuck with you when you heard it from Notary Stars, or it stuck with you when you heard it from Notary Academy. So it might be the same information, but a little bit different. But here's the thing is I will tell you, as a signing service owner and as a Notary Academy owner, is that what I see is that I learn something new every single day. So I can sit here and tell you I'm an expert at what I do, but in the same respect, just like all of you, we all learn something new every single day. And if you have the attitude that you took all the certifications and training and you don't need anything else, that's the wrong attitude, the wrong way to go.
Mhm.
That being said, I want to tell you all that we do own National Signing Services. Both Laura and I own National Signing Services. So I own Seal the Deal National Signing Service, and Laura owns Notary Zoom Signings. And so, Laura, I'll let you tell everybody, we have so many signing service owners that are a part of Notary Academy. So go ahead and tell everybody about that.
So we have, out of our 14 states, we decided what, 5 earlier today, Kim. 5 of our advisors do own signing services. So it makes it really nice because when they're out scheduling with their signing service and they can see that a notary needs help, or a scan comes back and they see that the notary doesn't necessarily know their laws, maybe they're a great signing agent, but maybe they notarized improperly or they took the wrong form of ID, they can reach out to those notaries and help those notaries bring them into Notary Academy and make sure that they know their laws. We also have quite a few students. I think we wrote down about 10 to 12 of our students are very experienced students. They also own signing services, but they also want to collaborate with Notary Academy to make sure that we can all share the best notaries, the most trained notaries with the less liability, the least amount of liability, so that when they go out and sign for us, we don't have to worry about them as much either. So it's really important for us as signing service owners to make sure that our notaries are experienced and they're trained. We always give preference to our Notary Academy students because we feel more comfortable that they've watched all the videos, they've taken the trainings, they do know what they're doing. And so it's very important for us to collaborate with other signing service owners so that we can share the notaries that, and maybe we have a newer notary that really needs a little bit of help, but they're willing to get out there. They're willing to travel for us. They're willing to take our training. They're willing to let us take them under their wing and make sure that they know the laws so that they'll go out for us. So you don't necessarily have to be the most experienced notary, but you have to be the one that's driven, that's willing to take training for us to hire you. We started during COVID, and Kim and I were running a California group, and we were noticing that a lot of the notaries would ask a question in our groups and all these other notaries would give them the wrong answer. And we decided we needed a lot of training. We need to supplement what program we were a part of. And so it became a necessary need for us to get out there and make sure that our notaries were properly trained. And we also had just started our signing services in 2019-ish. And we decided that a lot of the scans that were coming in, the notaries were, at least in California, we can't notarize capacity, or the certs were non-compliant. And notaries had been notarizing for years and didn't know that they couldn't notarize capacity. They had to pay attention to the compliant versus non-compliant certificates. So we decided we needed to do something, and that's why we started Notary Academy. And sometimes even if you call certain other training programs or people that you expect to give you the right answer, I'm not going to name any names, but sometimes you get the wrong answer. And it's really frustrating for us to try to tell our notaries that that's actually not the right answer. Let's go through the government codes. Let's read them together, because no matter who you call, you're going to get a different answer, and it may or may not be correct. So Kim and I are very passionate about the notary laws, rules and regulations, RESPA, TRID, making sure that notaries know all sections of the law, as well as just how to make money and to notarize documents. We want them to be educated. We constantly tell our students we want to change this industry. We want to make sure that this is a professional, well-respected industry. And sometimes that's difficult when there's no training, there's no journal required, and notaries get themselves into hot water because they don't take this seriously. So thank you for listening. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know that we're very serious about this. We love our industry, and we're trying to make everything better for everyone. And we've tried to change laws. It's another story, but we're trying very hard to make this industry stronger with better educated notaries.
So as signing service owners, we will tell you that that is what is the biggest challenge, is getting well-educated notaries that actually know what they're doing. And when it comes to loan signing, that is a really big thing, because there's a lot of liability that's involved with real estate. And so it's very important that notaries know their laws. This is one of the reasons that we've teamed up with Notary Stars, is because we believe, just like Ronnie has said with Unlimited Ink, we have the same vision, is that notaries are well educated. And so the top 3 programs that we as signing service owners like to endorse or like to see notaries have would be Notary Academy. If you are not aware, Notary Academy does have a loan signing certification. I'm going to toot my own horn here, but both Laura and I worked on the certification for almost a year. We both have several loan signing certifications, and we took what lacked in all of the other certifications on the market and put together the most comprehensive loan signing program out there. We truly believe it is one of the best on the market. So we believe you should have Notary Academy. We also believe you should have Notary Stars. And then the third one would be Notary to Pro. Those are generally the 3 top trainings that we like to see as signing service owners, to know that you are competent and capable of conducting loan signings for us. I would like to go back and let you guys know that Notary Academy, our advisors, we do have 5 advisors, including Laura and myself, that own National Signing Services. So the first one is Capital Closing Solutions. It is owned by Dana Scharf in Washington, and it is a national signing service. And she is our advisor for Washington.
She's also coming to retreat if you want to meet her in October.
Yes, which we have retreat coming October 5th and 6th. I'm sorry. Yes, 5th and 6th in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you're looking to get information on that, please go to our website, which is mynotaryacademy.com. Make sure you put mynotaryacademy.com, put the my in front of it. We unfortunately are in a trademark infringement lawsuit. We do have somebody that is a copycat that has stolen all of our information and is using it. So we want to make sure that we're directing you to the right place. www.mynotaryacademy.com. Even if you've seen that website on the National Notary Association, it is not our website. So please make sure that you have the correct one.
And Miss Kimberly, before we get off the retreat information, I just want to make sure that all of the notaries from California, Arizona, anybody that can drive here, I think it's going to be worth a day. First of all, they get to meet you guys, but it's a day of signing services being there. Laura Beaver is going to be there as well. So this is a great event for you to come in and meet a lot of the people and all of the notaries that are coming from around your local area. Now, if you want to fly over from New York, come from Florida. But if you are, in a drivable distance, I know I'm going to be there. Unfortunately, Miss Beth is going to be with her family because they're coming from all the way over to Florida. So we can't compete, with blood there, but nor would we want to. She gives a lot of herself here. But you'll be able to meet, fellow Notary Stars. You'll be able to meet other people from My Notary Academy. I think this is going to be a wonderful day. I can't wait for it. So I just wanted to make sure that people know you don't have to be in Scottsdale to come to this. You can drive down. You can come up from Tucson. You can come from Flagstaff. You can come from another state. And I already know, actually, Leah Sosi, I hope I say their last name right. Leah Sosi, I've worked with her for a long time. She wrote me an email and she goes, I was on the fence. And now that I know all you guys are going to be there, I'm coming. So I think that's great. And so I would love to personally, COVID's over for the most part, guys. I'm ready to give some hugs. So I've been talking to you guys for a long time on the internet. So I'm looking forward to hugging, maybe even kissing some of you on the cheek, so I look forward to meeting a lot of you in person at that event.
Thank you. And Ronnie, you're absolutely right. I agree with you 1,000,000%. This is a great event to get your face in front of signing service owners. Here's the thing is when I get on a Zoom meeting and I get interaction from people and I actually get to know you, I remember you. And so the next time I'm scheduling in your area, I remember, oh, that was Robin from Florida. I remember that I talked to her and I'm going to go ahead and schedule her. So if you can get to meetings like this, if you can get to retreats and conferences where you can get your face in front of these signing service owners, it's huge. And let me tell you, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have at least 10 national signing service owners that will be at our retreat in attendance or exhibiting. And so, like I was telling you, we have Capital Closing Solutions. Dana, she's in Washington. She is our Washington advisor. We have Confidence Signing Service. Confidence Signing Service is Michelle Smith. She's in Texas. She's actually one of our speakers this year. She is not a national signing service, but she is a boutique signing service owner. And her whole panel is all about how to start a local signing service. How to, when you have an overflow of work and you don't know what to do with it, but you don't want to start a national signing service. So that's what her panel is going to be about. And then, of course, you have Laura and myself. I'm Seal the Deal National Signing Service and Notary Zoom Signings that Laura owns. And then students that are Notary Academy students and also National Signing Service owners, and they will all be in attendance. Signing Connections is Juan Saavedra. Veritas Signings, James Kedlek owns that. AKA Notaries, Alex Montez. Shasta Signings, Mark Stillwell. OCD Signings, Bree Hansey. Expert Notaries and Services, Chua Moa. Those are all National Signing Service owners that are Notary Academy students as well. And then we also own all of the Notary Society groups in every single state. So if you're part of that Notary Society groups, and we try very hard to put a moderator or a signing service owner as a moderator in those groups. And so we do have a couple. Our Texas Notary Society, we do have a Notary Academy advisor, but we also have a moderator, Lauren Myers, and she owns a national signing service. Marcy Tiberio, she's in New York. She owns Professional Notary Services, which is also a national signing service, and she is the moderator for Notary Society. And then Lachey Whitney, she owns We Notarize, which is also a national signing service. And she is in Tennessee, and she's the moderator for that group. So as you guys can see, there are several signing service owners, several that can give you guys work and business. Getting your face in front of them is epic, huge. Microphone.
We've hired so many notaries from retreat last year. So just because they were in front of us, we all had dinner together, we all had drinks together, we got to know each other. A lot of brand new notaries are working with us now, and they're fantastic. So, you know, I know sometimes you have a hard time with the fees, whether it's the registration fee, it's the flights, it's the hotel. We have notaries looking for roommates too for the hotel if you guys are interested. But it's worth it. You just need a couple signings, right, with some of these signing services, and you've paid for everything. And then you've got future signings. So it's a tax write-off, you guys. If you're on the fence, go. It's worth it. Last year was amazing. It was our first one. We sold out we had 100 people in attendance, and we're getting close to that right now. So tickets do go up on the 18th. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking about going, get your ticket before the 18th.
I got a feeling you're going to sell out because we have 215 people on the call tonight. And you're going to have a lot of people trying to contact you going, I need work, or I want to go to your retreat, or both. So
right.
On to your hats.
It's always worth it, you guys. I've met so many people at conferences and meetups, and it's always worth it. I promise you. So if you're on the fence, and you can call us if you want to talk to us about, you know, the itinerary, who's going to be there, etc. But it's going to be a lot of fun.
The best part about it is that we purposely keep our retreats small. We purposely keep them at 100 tickets, and we do that because we do not want the big rah, thousands of people. We want you to get the individualized attention that you need. And there's a lot of you that can be introverts, and being in a crowd is hard. And so we feel like having a smaller, intimate setting makes it easier, and it makes it easier for you to be able to make the connections that you need to make instead of just being lost in the crowd.
We want you guys to feel comfortable to come up to us. I'm an introvert. For those of you that don't know me, Kim is not. I am. I'm the one that's kind of over in the corner with 2 or 3 people, and I understand how that is. So we want you to feel comfortable to come up to us, to talk to us, to get to know us. If you do come to retreat, please approach us. We're very friendly, I promise. And we do really want to get to know you as well. So
Guys, I want to say thank you for coming on today and telling, everybody about Notary Academy. And to remind everybody, the website is mynotaryacademy.com. Think of it as it's yours. My Notary Academy is the website. And so just keep that in your brain and share it with other people. We do have to kind of get to some questions for tonight, but I would like us to ask everybody if they don't mind turning on their cameras for just a minute as I remove the pins. Let's give our guest, and I hope you guys will stick around to the end as well. Let's give our guest a nice Notary Stars wave so that and I'm going to turn it over to gallery view so everybody can see that. Please turn on those cameras for just a moment and let's give them a little wave, showing them support for all the things that they are going to be bringing to our community and sharing with us along the way. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you'll stick around to the end. And there was one of your advisors right here in Arizona. I sent you a message. I think your name was Lisa. I'd love to connect with you after the call and maybe meet you since you are in Arizona. But Miss Beth, we got just about a half hour to go, and we've got a ton of questions. So let's start going one by one for raised hands and on the sheet. Is that okay with you, Miss Beth?
Yeah, I'd like to start with the raised hands because they've been so patient. Maybe one from there, one from Jotform, and we'll try to crate in as many as we can before that 30-minute timer runs out. Luz, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Hi, good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. My question is about assignments. So recently, it happened to me twice where I get a call from a signing company. They tell me it's a seller's package. Um, it's like normally it's less, it's a slower fee because it's less pages and all of that is easier. So I get the assignment, it's a seller's package, but when I go and look at the order itself, it ends up being a buyer package. Or they tell me it's only one signer, ends up being two or three. So what do you do in that case? It's like I feel bad, like going back and say, hey, this is a buyer, not a seller. It's 300 pages that I have to print instead of 150. But it's more time consuming, it's more work, more paper. So what do you suggest we do in that case?
Miss Beth, can I take lead on that one?
Sure.
So, Luz, we have this happen at Unlimited Ink. From time to time, it's not as much as many signing services. So here's what I can tell you about it. Title company puts it into either the signing services platform and they've tagged it wrong from the get-go. And then the signing service doesn't know that the file coming through is going to be a buyer versus when they put in a seller. So they're going to assign it to you and put in the fee. Unfortunately, you do have to go back to them if it is a larger file. And sometimes we don't see the documents. And a lot of times, we're waiting on those documents to come in. As soon as you come in, especially if you get assigned over the phone, you can and start including, like Unlimited Ink has recorded lines. You don't need to go to my staff and be like, well, I was on a recorded line, so you better give me more money. But if you don't have the documents available right when you're being assigned, you can say, listen, when I was being assigned, I agreed that if it, wound up being a larger package, that we would discuss it later. You can get into the habit of working something like that into your language, especially if it's newer signing services. If you work with them a lot, like Unlimited Ink, you know that if we assign you a seller and it turns out to be a buyer, we're going to take care of you and go up to our buyer's fees. So you definitely have to make that call. And if it's just habitual and it's like a direct title and they're not careful about it, just maybe not take their orders and focus on ones that don't cause you as much stress.
Should I apply the same concept for when they see my name and they see Spanish name, they assume speak Spanish, which I do, but they normally, like I've noticed a couple of times too, they don't tell me it's Spanish speaking. They assume and they won't tell me. They just like send me the order and then the customer.
Well,
Sorry.
if you
Yeah,
have if you have it in your profile that you speak Spanish, there's no assumption there. They're assigning it to you because actually when they tick that box that says I need a Spanish speaking notary, it doesn't show that most of the time it won't show the English speaking notaries because they're not bilingual. So they're assigning that to you because you've identified yourself as a Spanish speaking notary. So the marketing side of that is working. And I can't wait to roll out your website next week. We're getting very close. It won't be this week, but it'll be next week, probably the end of next week. But we're getting close to coming around the curve. So I can't wait to work with you on that. All right. Miss Beth, you ready to go to the jot form for the next question?
I am, and I think we need to invoke our Ron powers here. So, Mr. Bill, if you would get ready, because I got the question for you coming up. This says, my signer failed KBA 3 times. None of the questions pertained to him. 5 questions each time, and none of them were for him. Can't they just hold up their ID to the camera so I can verify identity?
No. Well, okay. So it really depends on, first of all, what is your state and what your state says. Can you do biometrics? If you don't have the ability to do KBA and you're in a biometric state, can you switch them over and do the biometrics for identification? Next thing that I would wonder is how do you do it 3 times? Because most of the platforms, you fail once, you get to try again, and you fail again, and then they lock you out. So I would be cautious about doing it extra times. I know we have those where you get a name like say a Robert Jones. I know personally two Robert Joneses. That's a name that can get a little bit twisted and difficult to work with. Most of the sites will have an option to enter additional information. So, it might say also, it's going to ask maybe for their first and last name and their birthday, but then there's usually an option that you can put in like driver's license number or last four of your social or some other identifying factors that will help to maybe narrow those questions down. If they don't pass it and they failed it twice, in most instances they should be locked out for 24 hours. You might want to suggest to them in that 24-hour time between when you can start working with them again, if they can go on to something like, say, freecreditreport.com or something like that, where they can pull their actual credit history, they can see what most of those questions are that are being drawn from. I know I get one on mine that comes up all the time that says it's an address that I lived at in college for 3 months while I was student teaching. Well, that was 30 plus years ago. I do not remember that. And I get it wrong every time. So, I would suggest, hey, look at this. So that would be my answers to it is no, first and foremost, don't just skip it and go straight to the ID. It's multi-factor authentication, which consists of KBA and credential analysis or biometrics and credential analysis. And that's why you have multi-factor. You want to protect yourself.
And Mr. Bill, just to add in a comment on that, if your signers fail KBA on Blue Notary, you cannot switch them over to Cyberize it and run them through it again. So if they fail twice on one platform, it is 24-hour lockout. Yes, they can try, but you as a notary knowingly cannot put them through on another platform just trying to get them through. You agree with that, Mr. Bill?
Yes. Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, you don't want to do that. Usually when it says those two failures, it's for you as the notary. And some of there's not a lot of sites that they pull the questions from. There's only a couple of them. Some of them are smart enough to actually know that you're hopping around from place to place. And so they already know that you're locked out. So it's not worth the risk. I would say if you can't make it work, that would be a great time to have networked with a notary in Florida or Virginia or some other state that can do biometrics, and you can pass it over to them and maybe they can get it through. Now, if it's a loan signing, don't do that without asking the signing agency, because a lot of the escrows don't like biometrics. So don't just do it. Don't just take it upon yourself to do it. Make sure you can do it, and then look into that.
Bill, before you mute yourself again, we've got Andrew Deskin's hand up in the gallery. He's also got a question on our jot form, and I'm just going to merge those two. Andrew, if you want to unmute and ask that question that I think you're going to ask about copy certifications, that'd be awesome. Well, maybe, there you go.
There we go. Yeah, so my question is for copy certifications. I ran into an instance where I did a signing for someone in California for a deed, and then I realized that I couldn't notarize online and then send it as a printed copy for another signer to add their signature to at a later date. I'm wondering is it possible to do a RON signing and then print it out and certify a copy of the document you just did online? And if so, how would you go about doing that?
So if you're in a state, again, check your state's laws. That's going to be the first thing I'm going to say, because if you're in a state that will allow you to do copy certification via RON, then usually they're going to say you must have been in control of that document the entire time. If you were the remote notary on it, and you can pull that document right back out, then yes, technically you could copy certify it because you've always had control of the document. Or you know, when you go and you take it to somebody in person and you go to the notary and you hand them the document and they walk over to the printer and they bring it back and then they copy certify that. I suppose if someone brought you the document and you scanned it yourself, you could copy certify it. But I mean, it kind of defeats the purpose of being a remote notary at that point.
What
That
state
being said, though,
Yeah, I'm back. Thanks for unmuting me again.
are you
I'm
in
s-
Washington, Andrew?
I am in Washington.
Okay, so I don't think Ron notaries, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Ron notaries have copy certification in Washington. So that would preclude you from there unless somebody can say, oh no, we have a regulation for that. I did not see that.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up.
but if
But
you were the remote notary, you have there can be multiple originals. Like I can send an original to Ronnie and an original to Beth and an original to Kirsten. Anybody that
Mhm.
has that encrypted PDF copy of the document has an original. So you could just use that as you wouldn't need to certify that copy because it's an original of it if you send them the PDF of that.
Yes. And then but are then they able to print that off and submit it like via mail and that won't be an issue or?
It depends. It depends on what the document is. If it's something that has to be recorded with a county recorder,
Mhm.
most counties in the country will not allow you to paper out or to print the document and submit it by hand. It must be electronically submitted. So an electronic document gets an electronic submission.
Yeah.
But if if it were something where we're going to, like, let's say it was for a school permission slip to do something, yeah, you could print those.
Mhm.
So it really kind of depends.
Okay. I think that answers my question. Thank you.
Okay.
thank you so much. We've got another hand up, been up for a while. Miss Robin from right here in sunny Arizona. Robin, would you like to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, hi, thank you so much. My question was about like listing locations that are in your notary profile. So when you shared Nancy's profile at the beginning, she listed that she is available in like 3 counties. And as you know, in Arizona, we can spend 2 hours and 20 minutes driving across some of our counties. What is the best way for us to list our locations when we're in a place like Arizona? I'm on the border of 2 counties, and that would be like 5 hours of driving to cover all of either of those.
Well, you said you're on the border of 2 counties, correct?
Yeah, I'm on the border of Pinal and Maricopa, and so I get requests to go all the way to the other end of Pinal County and all the way to the other end of Maricopa County.
So it really depends on where you're talking about listing. So and this is going to cover a couple of grounds for you. On your website, you should list all of the zip codes, the county that they're in, and the city name so that you get all of those keywords on your website. And your notary listings like SnapDocs, signing order allows you to list multiple zip codes. So you want to just list them by zip code. I don't think you can list on county. For Notary Stars, we actually don't allow you anymore to list by county. So I would only go by the city name that you service and the zip codes. More people search that near me now, or notary near me, or in the city of. Very few people search by county unless you're in a real rural area. I mean, you got to ask yourself, when's the last time you said, you might ask yourself, do you know of a good, dog retreat in Pinal County? Because you need something that there's not a lot of. But for a notary, you would say, where's the closest notary to me? Where's the closest notary? And Google's going to take care of all of that if you've done everything properly. So it really depends on where you're listing. But on Notary Stars, Nancy does travel to all of those counties. She's in kind of like a tri-county area, so she does travel to those. So she is putting those in there on her listing.
Okay, thank you.
And it's all going to be individual. You will know if people refer to your local area by county.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. I appreciate that question because I try to explain it as we've gone through a shift and definitely in the last 5 years, where notaries have stopped using county and more are using zip codes and city names because there's so many of us now. In the last 6 years, our community nationwide has tripled.
Yeah, I just didn't want to like lose out if somebody specifically wants somebody in Pinal County and then I say no because that specific part is, you know, an hour and a half away. I didn't want them to look down on why did she say Pinal if she didn't mean Pinal.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that question.
10 minutes left, guys. 10 minutes to showtime or end of showtime. So we're going to try and power through the questions with the hands that are raised now. If we have any leftover time, we'll pull some more from the jot form. But Dante, or wait a minute, didn't say your name? Haynes. Miss
I
Haynes.
didn't have a problem with that one. It's pronounced Denise.
Danit. Okay, I should have figured that one out. Okay. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You're not the first, and I know you're not the last. So
I was just going to go for it, and all of a sudden I got choked up. So thanks for the save.
it's okay. My question is about the notice of right to cancel forms.
Yeah.
In most packages, we get maybe between 1 and 3 copies of that form, but you also get the sentence that says, "Do not leave a blank copy with the signer." Okay, the signer also has 3 copies in their package. They have the exact same documents you do. So what, once the signer signs them, are we to leave one of those signed copies with them? Is that what they're telling us to do?
Well, here's what you need to know about the right to cancel.
Okay.
Right to cancel is governed by Regulation Z of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Regulation Z says at the signing, the borrower should have 2 completed copies left with them. So knowing that we have to send 1 copy back in our packages, we're going to make sure that there's 3 for each signer when we go to that signing. I'm pulling out of their copy package if I need to make up the difference, you know, 3 of each. I'm not going to give them 3 blank copies and leave it in their copy package and print out more. I'm just pulling them all together to make sure I've got 3 copies for each of the signers. At the signing, they're going to sign all 3 of them.
Right.
One of them is going to go back in your package to your signing service. They're going to keep 2 each. And the reason is if they decide to cancel before midnight on that expiration date, they're going to use one of those forms. And then that'll leave 1 form for their records. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay. That's what I kind of thought that, but I was thinking since they already had copies in their copies.
Yeah. A blank copy is not going to do them any good. Because
Okay,
unless
so
they have that original received signature on there, they can't use it to cancel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Miss Beth.
Okay.
Miss Beth, I also want to point out, I just dropped in the chat, if you are a member and you are a Notary Star or level higher, we have 9 videos on refinance files which contain right to cancels unless it's primary place of residence. So basically 8. You can go and I dropped it in the chat, so it'll take you right to that training module. All you have to do is log in with your membership. It'll show you. But one thing I want to point out for everybody, whether you take our training or not, is when you do a Wells Fargo loan, you have got to inspect the bottom of those right to cancels because it tells you which copy that you have to give the signers. And if you send back the one that says borrower's copy and you mix them up, they will make you go back and do the entire thing, and it could stop the loan from funding. They will not accept the one that says borrower's copy to be in their possession. It has to say lender's copy. So please, guys, and refinances are about to come back in full force. We're starting to see them. And I will tell you the number one thing that will stress out a signing service is refinances. Sure, you got 3 days to close. It's easy to, do, but if you cannot facilitate those right to cancels properly, there's all these nuances about making sure you fill them out, and everybody wants them done a certain way. We've got all of that training in there for you. So I love this question because guess what? Interest rates are going to drop any minute, and everybody's going to refi. Everybody's going to do it. We're going to see a lot more refinance business. And I know a lot of notaries out there think, I already know how to do that. But I see great notaries who've been doing buyer's files for the last 2 years or seller files, and they're starting to make mistakes because they haven't done a refi. It's like riding a bike, you can get back on it, but members should go get ready and prepared because any minute now, interest rates are gonna drop. So thank you for that question, Miss Haynes.
Mr. Ronnie, we have another guest that has popped in for us.
Absolutely.
That would be Miss Delora Snyder. Can we make her a co-host and bring her up?
Absolutely. And then everybody, Miss Delora's only going to be here for just a second, so stick around. There's going to be a giveaway tonight, and you will probably want to stick around to learn how you can get on that. So spotlight for everyone, and then let me make you a co-host.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey, Ronnie, I like the new hairdo.
Thank you. It's actually the hair undo.
And the hair undo. It's hard
Yeah,
to
it's
see
the
with
hair
the stars
undo.
behind you, but it looks great. I just wanted to pop in, say hi to everybody. My name's Delora, and I'm with Insurance with Delora. So any health insurance questions that you guys have, especially about being self-employed, that's typically who I help, or self-employed people like yourselves with health insurance coverage. So if you have any questions, I'll put my contact information here. Just feel free to reach out and make sure to remind me that Notary Stars sent you.
Thank you so much for popping in, Miss Delora. We're going to keep trucking along because we've got tons of stuff to get through tonight. But guys, we have a whole page dedicated to Miss Delora and how to contact her under the notary resources. And Kirsten will post that in the chat as well. We want to make sure that you guys know that if you don't have health insurance, you have access to somebody who can help you get it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Delora. Fabi or Fabby? Fabi? I think you're just Fab.
Thank you. It's Fabi.
Fabi.
Yes, so I have a question around handling emergencies as a notary. So I have been a notary since last April of 2023, and I was doing really well, being able to get files from signing services. But I had an emergency where my dad fell down and I had to rush him to the hospital the same day that I had to do a notary. And so I had to call the signing company and let them know, I'm really sorry. I tried, I called as I was trying to get him into the car to take him to the emergency room. But since then, I haven't been able to have any more signings. I don't know if there is like a professional or a way to approach the signing service or make an inquiry, or if there's just an issue with my profile overall, because at the same time my background check was due to be renewed, and so that kind of took care of it. But I don't know if there's any feedback or just in general on handling emergencies and signings. And I would have loved to be able to go do the signing, but unfortunately I also had to rush my dad to the emergency room.
So I'm going to head up that question because there is definitely a professional way to handle that. I want to tell you that, once upon a time, I'm pretty dedicated as a signing agent when I was out in the field. And I will tell you that, first of all, I'm going to tell you nobody's put any bad things on you for that. So you're good to go. I looked it up. I would have pulled you aside if somebody had. So you're in the clear. But and I can never tell you guys what anybody says, but I can definitely tell you if you're not going in the right direction. So with that said, I fell off a loading dock and re-injured an old injury where I got run over by a car years ago. You guys have all heard that story of how even Unlimited Ink was born. So I got my doctor's note, and I was actually scared to tell clients, but if you have an accident, you need a police report. If something happens, even if it's to your dad or your child, I've never met a doctor that won't write you a note, just saying, that can you, like, listen, this is my father. I had to get him here. Can you please write me a note that, I was taking care of this person. Be as professional as possible and think of it this way. Sure, if you tell someone, but we hear notaries all the time. I've actually tested it. Okay. I've actually sent text messages to notaries that I know were not having an emergency just because they didn't come across like they were having an emergency. And I've sent them text messages, you know, from another number that says, you know, for a higher fee or whatever, and they will shift things around. So be professional in the way that grab a doctor's note, grab, you know, proof of something that shows that you were there that day and say, listen, I don't want to give you too much personal information. I don't need to give you all the details, but I had to be there. This was my father. He lives with me. I'm his caretaker, or I am the only one that could get him there. And let them know I'm very sorry. Put it into their hands. Make sure you give them as much notice as possible. But if you provide them proof and they leave any kind of negative about you, they will suffer more in the long run than you will. Because I will tell you, JoJo Siwa says it best. Karma's a you know what. So, you know, there will be people who try, but believe me, the universe will get them back. All you need to do is provide your proof. And I've always personally just given it to them. They've never had to ask me for it. You know, if I was late and I was getting a ticket, or, you know, I got in an accident or whatever, I get that police report. And even if it's, you know, a couple of days later, because they could put it on today because you didn't show up or you called, and then you know, I've been rear-ended on the way to signings. You just get that police report and you say, look, a few days ago, I had to call in a signing. I just wanted to provide you proof so that you trust me in the future. Accidents happen, and then move forward. And most people, if they see that proof, will be very, very forgiving.
I've done that with flat tires too. It's
Yeah.
like too
I
far.
want to come in really quick as a signing service owner. Amen, Ronnie. Amen. What you just said is huge. Communication is everything.
Yes, communicate. Is that your question, Miss Fabby?
Yes, this actually happened, I think it was in July. And so I don't know if emailing it to them now would be, I have like the summary of being there. So I don't know if sending an email now would be useful, or yeah, I love doing signings. I think I'm a paralegal as well, and so it's really helpful for me, and it engages my brain.
No, nobody's put any negative on you, so you don't even have to worry about it. They didn't think anything of it. Okay. And just out of curiosity, was it one of my signings? Okay, well, if it was mine, you could just ask me. We didn't put anything negative on you, so you're good to go. Okay. You can stop sweating. You got it from the owner's mouth, and I told you even before that I looked, so you're good to go.
See, she thought she was being incognito, but he knows who his people are. He knew it was you.
I had a sneaking suspicion, but you know, you guys, like, listen, I do not do this every week or all week long here at Notary Stars to bring you guys down. I bring you here to build you up. So you do not have to be afraid or tiptoe around or be afraid to say I had an unlimited ink signing and you know, and this and that. I wake up every day as the owner of the company. I go to bed every day as the owner of the company. It's my responsibility to answer questions and be forthcoming and truthful, and wear my hat at Notary Stars as well. So never feel afraid to ask questions here.
Here's one of our long-standing Notary Stars, Miss Anissa. Would you like to unmute, Miss Anissa, and ask your question?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Very quickly, today I was at the Secretary of State's office and I was taking another notary's documents for apostille, and she used a certificate, copy cert certificate. They will not accept that copy cert certificate. I was told that the manager of the office had gotten in touch with the NNA. It's dated 2017 on the lower left-hand corner of the document, but that copy cert form is not to be used. It doesn't follow the statutes, I guess, of Arizona.
Did they happen to say what was out of compliance?
Yes, it was, part of it says presented to me by, I don't have it in front of me right now, but it says presented to me by. It's right after the client's name.
Okay.
Or just before, whichever way it is. It says presented to me by. It's like 3 or 4 words, and they said that wasn't compliant with their ability to accept it.
Yeah,
So
because
that's
the
for
statute
Arizona.
didn't say it was presented. It was the copy was made by the notary, and the
Correct.
so I get that. Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you so much for that.
And then the other thing is just, I'm curious. I did a signing this weekend for an attorney. It was estate planning, and he was there. And I usually use blue ink because I think blue ink will just, it makes it more noticeable to see what is an original versus a copy. So he says, no, it has to be in black ink. And I'm like, well, why? He says, because legal documents are supposed to be in black ink. I'm like, I didn't know that. I know court documents have to be written in black ink. So I called the Secretary of State, and they said that they didn't have a specific, there's no statute that states a specific color, but they do lean toward the dark blue or black ink because, for copying purposes, if someone needs to, you can see it better. So does anyone know if there is a ruling somewhere or across the board, whether blue or black ink is preferred on regular documents? And I know on loan documents, they will specify use blue ink.
Yeah, loan documents 99% of the time are blue.
Right.
But I can reference that of the states, across the 50 states, of those notarial laws, the only time that they absolutely specify one color over another, if they make that specification, it's always that the notary sign in black. So that's an interesting aspect to that attorney's take. But like the Secretary of State says, in Arizona, we don't have that regulation that says you absolutely have to use blue or black. But for those states who do have regulations, it's almost always black.
Okay. All right, then. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Miss Anissa. And then Miss Beth, we are 6 minutes over.
We are.
Keisha did have her hand up for quite a while, so we will end with Keisha's question. Miss Linda, you know how to get in touch with us. You are one of the, most active, and I love you for it. And thank you for reviewing all of Manuel's training that he's bringing to us in Spanish and getting it back to us. But we're going to end with Miss Keisha, and I've got two little announcements before we clip tonight. Miss Keisha, why don't you take us home with questions?
Yeah, just I wanted to know if somebody could tell me what is the difference between a e-notary and a RON?
That would be a Mr. Ron question.
If Bill's not here, then I'll take it. But Bill, did you want to give them the difference?
All right, I stepped away to feed the dog.
You're okay.
All right, so the difference between an e-notary and a RON,
Yes.
did they give you like context? I mean, there's so a RON, basically a RON is a remote online notarization. That's where I'm here, you're there, everything's electronic. An e-notary could be a RON, but it also could be you going in person and sitting across the table from somebody and electronically signing the documents, even though you met face to face. That would be like an IPEN, an in-person electronic notarization.
And
So,
what state are you in?
North Carolina.
North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
I think
certified. I'm certified as an e-notary, but I don't know what it means.
in the context of North Carolina, the way they have their laws written right now, they're talking about IPEN, where you can meet the person face to face and still electronically sign the documents. You couldn't do it like I'm meeting you right now in a different state.
Right.
That's the way it is right now. They're meeting here, I think this month, to discuss some more about rolling it out. North Carolina is one of those states that's being a little tough. They're kind of in line with California. Like they're allowing it, but with a lot of rules attached to it. So right now you're talking IPEN, in-person electronic notarization. And I think they even want to call it something different in North Carolina, don't they? They don't want to call it Ron or Rin.
Yeah, they call it something else, and I can't remember. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know they have a different word for it in
Yeah.
North Carolina. So that's
Okay.
what it is uh, in your situation. For the rest of the country, it's this, like across cameras and things like that, for the most part.
Wow. Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All righty, Mr. Ronnie, I think that wraps us up.
It does. I just have two things to go over really quick before we go. And thanks to the 171 people that spent an hour and 10 minutes with us. I'll make this very quick. The first thing, I'm giving away two things. One of them you got to wait for just a little while. So we are in the last few weeks of being able to vote for the National Notary Association Influencer of the Year. I'm going to post it into the chat, and I want to say thank you for getting us. And when I say us, you do have to vote for me, but it's voting for everyone. If you vote for us, you have a chance to win $1,000. Okay. All you have to do is send a copy of your vote. So when you get that email confirmation or a screenshot showing that you voted, email it to contest@notarystars.com. Send a screenshot, send it over, and you will be entered in for your chance to win $1,000. Okay. That'll be whether I win or whether I or not. So when voting closes, we will give it a little time period, and we will put everybody who emails in a chance to win. Now, you will need to attend the session to win. So we'll let you know when that contest is, when we're going to spin the wheel for the winner. You'll need to show up for that. And we'll specifically email only those who are there so that they can make sure that they're present to see if they win that $1,000. I did a contest on Instagram recently. You guys got us over 10,000 followers. We're now at 10.1 thousand followers on Instagram. And I want to get our YouTube channel to 10,000. We're like 100 or so people away, so 165 people could do it. So I'm going to do a contest with you this week. The replay of this video is going to go on our YouTube channel, and you need to be subscribed so that you get the notification for it. And I'm going to hide a contest in the middle of the replay. Okay. And it's going to have specific instructions. And there were, I think, 190 something people who attempted to get into the drawing. I gave away a scanner last time. Now I'm going to be giving away a scanner or a printer. You get to choose. We'll choose the printer model. It'll be the one that we always said that notary should have, and we'll choose the scanner, but you can win either a scanner or a printer of your choice. I will put the instructions in the middle of this replay on YouTube so that everybody's watching it, and you just need to be subscribed so you are notified when this replay comes out. It'll be in the next day or two, and I'm going to put a sneaky little contest of what you need to do. And all you have to do is follow those instructions. And if you do, then you'll be entered in to run a printer or a scanner of your choice. I'm doing contests like this because it's very important for us to follow directions. And those who follow the directions weeded out all the other people in the last contest that I did. So
it was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. We had so many people enter the contest, but only so many people were actually viable to win the contest. So we're doing another follow the directions contest. And if you can follow the directions, you'll be able to win. We'll see who rises to the top of this next challenge. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to switch it to gallery view. If you could please turn on your cameras. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. If you are not naked and you are not stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, let's turn on those cameras. And no, I wasn't talking to you, Miss RJ. It's okay if you were stuffing your face. I'm telling you, you can be on camera and stuff your face. Let's turn on our cameras and let's give our signature wave to each other. I don't care if you're eating or tucking your kids in, or you're watching this with your kids or your loved ones. As long as we, aren't doing anything inappropriate, we want you here. Miss Beth, how do we really say it here at Notary Stars?
Well, some of you old timers have heard this a time or two, but listen, we are all in the same storm. We're not all in the same boat. Mark Miller's got a yacht, and Tiffany's got a canoe, and Sheila's just dog paddling. just remember to be kind, reach back and grab the hand. Oh, look, a puppy. Reach back and grab the hand of the notary next to you or behind you and bring them along on your notary journey. Guys, have a good evening. Thanks so much for being here.